Hi guys, and welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. My name is Crystal and I'm going to be showing you some easy dinner ideas as well as some new recipes. So if you guys enjoy this week What's for Dinner, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. For more videos like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Also too, remember that you can share this video with someone you know by clicking the share button so they could get some new meal ideas. And let's get started with this week's What's for Dinner. Hi guys, so for today's dinner we're making some spaghetti. I have my marinara sauce that I just took out from the fridge. I defrosted it from my freezer. I do have a recipe on how to make this easy marinara sauce. If you guys are interested, I'll put it down in the description as well as in the iCard. I don't have any more spaghetti noodles, but we have elbows and shells, and my girls picked elbows, so that's what we're going to use for today for spaghetti. I have some garlic, and then over here I just have my favorite seasonings. I also have some ground beef that I'm going to use. So I'm going to start by boiling my pasta, my water, and then cook my pasta, and then cook my ground beef, and I'll show you how I assemble it. Very easy meal for tonight. So let me show you guys how I get that started. So I'm going to start by adding some salt to my boiling water, and I just need a good amount so that I can cook my pasta. Is a perfect time to add it because it's going to make sure your pasta gets flavor. Stir, and then I'm just going to follow the cooking directions on cooking the pasta. And I'm going to use this whole 16 ounces. Yeah, this whole packet. My mother-in-law sent over with me. And I know this is such an easy meal, but I like filming them because, hey, just a reminder that not all the time we're going to eat, you know, these good old fancy meals. It's going to be good. I promise them that. But sometimes I have to cook easy meals. But anyways, my kids love spaghetti, so it's all win-win. So I'm just going to let this cook following the cooking time. And then I'm going to drain it, and then cook my, my meat.
Hey, welcome to my shop. How can I help you?
Okay, so my pasta is fully cooked. I'm just going to add some cooking spray to my pan. And then I have it on a medium heat. Okay, so in here I have a pound of ground beef. And then I have one Italian sausage that I had in my freezer that I wanted to use up. It is the hot one, but since I'm only adding one and I'm mixing it with the ground beef, it's really going to stretch this meal out, add tons of flavor and spices, but it's not going to make it spicy. I have made this before and it wasn't spicy. So I'm just going to continue to cook the ground beef and this, but I'm going to add my garlic using my garlic brush. I'm going to add 3 garlic cloves, and then I'm going to add my favorite seasonings. Continue to cook this up, and then I will assemble the rest.
Wish that I could stay in this moment forever, so I can hold you in my arms. I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I'm able. Scare the monsters under your bed. Deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you. You will grow up in the blink of an eye and move out and beyond your...
Okay, so I let this cook on low for a good 20 minutes. Now I'm going to add my elbow noodles, and I made the whole pack because usually when we have spaghetti, we'll have it enough for leftovers, oops, for 2 days. So I'm going to add the whole thing.
Hey, Daddy. Mama,
I'm hungry. I know you are, it's coming. I'm just going to give this all a mix. Now, on the next day, if you have spaghetti and you notice you need a little bit more sauce, if you have extra whatever sauce you're using, go ahead and add it. But if you don't, I would just add a little bit of tomato sauce. But if you don't even have that, a little bit of water just to stretch it out. Don't go crazy and putting the whole thing. Like right now, that was a lot of noodles and it's just going to soak up all that sauce. I might have to add a can of tomato sauce because we like it very saucy. And if I serve it, well, no, it's looking good. We'll see. Might have to add it. Just going to give this a mix. I'm going to start making some toast with butter. And then I'm going to pair this with a salad. Since I don't have garlic bread, we're just going to make toast with butter. And this is dinner for today. My husband likes it with Parmesan cheese and then just some chili flakes on top. I have the salad with just some carrots, tomatoes, and some croutons. And then since I was out of garlic bread, I just made some quick toast with butter. And then I thought these croutons were the cutest things ever. They're so cute. They're little Texas toast croutons, which is going to be very yummy. Yes, baby. I'm just going to add some dressing, and this is dinner for today. Hi guys, so for today's dinner, we're going to be making a wrap, and this is just for me. My girls and my husband actually had the leftover spaghetti. I have this crispy tenders. These are actually vegan. I've said it before, I'm not vegan or vegetarian. We do eat meat, but I do want to switch up things up and I do want to try new products. And I also know that there's a lot of viewers that are vegetarian and vegan that watch my channel, and I've always said this, I appreciate you guys watching. So definitely I would like to do like a meatless meal once a week, or a vegan one. So I'm trying these out today, and I decided to use a tortilla. Now this tortilla is not vegan. They do use or let me check, maybe they are, I'm not sure. Maybe they use lard, I'm not sure, but this is all I have to work with today, so that's what I'm having. I'm using a little bit of the leftover lettuce that we had of our salad from yesterday, and also decided to put some red onions. I cooked up 3 of them and I just tried one. I put them in my toaster oven. First of all, they smell amazing. They smell really good. They smell like chicken. And then I cut a piece right here. I don't know if that's focusing, and it looks like chicken. It's really, really good. If you were to tell me that this was chicken, I would believe you. I don't know how they do it, but this brand is really, really good, and it tastes great, really easy to cook. I love how cute and small they are. And then what I also like is that on WW, they're only 1 point each, which is, if you're on WW, that's something to think about on the blue plan. So this is what I'm gonna have. I'm gonna add probably like a buffalo sauce or something on top. So definitely, I don't think it's 100% vegan, this dish right here, but these are. So if you guys haven't tried these, I would really recommend them. They're really, really good. And this is gonna be what's for dinner today. Everyone else already ate, so it's just me left. I'm gonna also have this with a side of apple. So this is what's for dinner today. And this plate is a small salad plate. It's not a big one. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy today's what's for dinner, and we'll see you on the next one. Hi guys, so for today's dinner, we're going to be making some enchiladas, but we're not making any regular enchiladas. Today I'm going to be trying for the first time mole enchiladas, which is pretty much enchiladas but made with the mole sauce. So what I'm going to start off by doing is boiling some water. I'm going to be cooking my chicken, and to this water I'm going to add half of an onion, 3 garlic cloves, and then I'm going to add some salt to make sure I flavor the chicken, and then I'm going to add my chicken in here. This mole recipe is my mother-in-law, so I will be putting the ingredients down below in the description, so make sure to go check that out. I'm going to let this chicken cook about 45 minutes, and from there I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do. This is the first time we make it. I think I've tried mole enchiladas once. It was from a neighbor, so I'm excited to make it. My husband's favorite dish is mole. So this is the first time that I'm making mole. My mother-in-law usually makes me, but she has shared her recipe with me. So hopefully it comes out good. But you never know if you don't try. So I have this chicken ready to go. Now she told me that I can use 9 chicken legs if I were just to make mole on its own. Mole is a traditional Mexican dish. It has chicken in it, and it has this very delicious brown sauce. Now a lot of people make that mole sauce different. I'm going to show you guys how she makes hers. Okay, sorry, I had to wash my dishes. Wash my hands, not my dishes. Oh, Lord Jesus, help me. So in here, she told me you can use a whole chicken if you just want to make just a regular mole. Or you can also use 9 chicken legs or half chicken legs, half thighs. Mainly we do this with chicken legs, but really you can do it whatever you want. Since I'm going to be using the chicken to shred, I want to make sure I have chicken with the bone on, because the bone is what's going to give it flavor besides that onion, that garlic, and that salt that I use. In my freezer, I had chicken breasts that were thin. I had about 5 slices, so I threw those in. Not 5 slices, 5 chicken breasts that were thinly cut, so I add 5 of those in. I had 5 chicken legs, but they were really small, so I added those. And then I added 1 chicken thigh. For me, I'm going to use the breast, and the rest I'll just mix it up. The good thing is that I'm going to have this broth to flavor the mole and also my Mexican rice. And if I have extra, then I can always freeze it. Also, too, if I have shredded chicken left over that we don't use for today's dish, the great thing is that I can make some chicken burritos. If you want to check out that video, I will link it up in the iCard and also in the description. Great way, if you're going to cook up chicken like this, you can double the recipe and use shredded chicken for another dish, or you can use the chicken broth for another dish. So this is what I like to do, double the recipe or make a little bit extra. So she told me 9 chicken legs. I have a little bit more than 9 pieces of chicken in here. I believe I have 11, but the chicken breasts were very thin. So I'm going to let this cook for 45 minutes, and then I'm going to show you how I make the rice and then the sauce. Okay, so my chicken is fully cooked. I took it out, and I'm going to let it cool down just for a little bit so I can shred this. On the side, I still have my chicken broth that I'm going to actually be using to make the mole sauce and also to be making the Mexican rice. Okay, I'm going to put it on a medium heat, and all I have in this pan is vegetable oil. Very little bit. This is the same Mexican rice that we always make. My mother-in-law taught me how to make it. Very easy, simple, and delicious. And it don't get better than easy. And you're gonna need vegetable oil, rice, and then you're gonna need I'm gonna use half of this can of tomato sauce because I'm making about 2 cups of rice, which in total will probably be 4 cups once it doubles. Instead of water, I'm going to be using the chicken broth for more flavor, but I'm also going to go in with a little bit of our favorite Nor Suiza chicken bouillon to give it a little bit more flavor. This has a lot, so I won't add as much as the chicken broth, but right now I'm just waiting for that oil to get a little bit hot, and then I'm going to add 2 cups of rice. I will be putting how to make this rice down in the description, so don't worry, you can get the ingredients down below. If you need to make more or less, we'll just double the recipe or a little bit less. So I'm going to start by adding 2 cups of rice, and all I want the rice to do is get nice and golden. So I've said it before, a lot of grandmas and moms make Mexican rice very different. Everybody has their own styles. I know my mom and grandma used fresh tomato, onion, and garlic and blended it in the blender. So you work with whatever Mexican red rice you like to make, or if you just want to follow this very easy and simple one. This is one of my favorite ones because it's so easy, and it's my mother-in-law's famous red rice. She is really known for her cooking, but I think out of everything, she is well known for her red rice, how good it is. And I just love how simple and delicious it is. So I'm just going to let this get nice and toasted, and I'm going to show you what I do next. So this is toasted as much as I wanted to get toasted up. We were nice and toasty for about 15 minutes. You're going to want to toast it up to your desire, but pretty much you want golden rice. If some of them burn, no problem, no worries. And then I'm going to add half a can of tomato sauce. And then I'm going to put it on a little bit low because oh gosh, I don't want this splashing around. And then, okay, that's about good. Give it a quick mix, and as soon as I add the tomato sauce, I'm adding in the chicken broth, and I want to make sure it's still hot. Yes, it is. Okay, this is clean. And now I'm going to add 4 cups of it. Since I added 2 cups of the rice, I'm doubling my liquid. And if I were not to have this chicken broth, I would just add hot water. That's the trick to it. Make sure it is hot water. Now, I think that was 4. How many did you guys count? 4? Okay, I'm going to take your word for it. That was 4. Okay, so pretty much all I'm going to do is let this come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I'm just going to add a little bit of this Nor Suiza chicken bouillon to taste. So probably about a tablespoon or 2. I'll put it down in the description. And once it comes to a boil and this is well mixed, I'm going to taste the broth to make sure it is right. I can't even talk. It's seasoned properly to our taste buds. And see, it's going to come quickly to a boil because my chicken broth was really, really hot still. And that chicken broth is going to add tons and tons of flavor, I promise you. But if you don't have it, you can always use just regular hot water and the Nor Suiza. Once it comes to a boil, I'm going to pop a lid on it and cook it on low to medium heat for 20 minutes until it's fully cooked. Gonna be perfect. Well, God willing. Okay, so it came to a boil pretty quick. Like I said, I use the hot chicken broth. So now I'm going to add about a tablespoon, a teaspoon of it. You know what? Let me mix that first, and then I'm going to taste it. What happened, Mama?
My bite doesn't go backward.
I know. It doesn't go backward?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like this.
Okay.
I do like this. I like this. I do like this.
Okay. I like the way you're writing it, though, for Chinese.
Yeah.
I'm going to add another teaspoon, tablespoon.
Are you making spaghetti?
No. Girl, we've already had spaghetti for days.
But no, I see sauce.
Oh my gosh, no. No, I'm making arroz. I'm making arroz. No, there's no more spaghetti. I'm making arroz.
No, I need to guess it.
Oh, you need to guess it? Okay, guess what Mommy's making.
Is it like spaghetti?
No, better.
Arroz.
Arroz, you got it. Yes, that was Estrella. Okay, I feel like it's good, but I'm just gonna add, and I'm using this small spoon, which I would consider this about a tablespoon, but I'm not using the full thing, so I would say about 1 or 2 tablespoons that I use. But definitely, if you're using that, you taste it as you go. I just put a little bit of it on my clean hand. Taste it. Okay, it's good to go. So now that it's coming to a boil, now I'm going to put it to low. Pop a lid on there. And then I'm just going to put my handy dandy timer for 20 minutes. Now, if it needs more time or something happens, you check on it and then come back to it. But this is how you make very easy and delicious Mexican red rice. Okay, so now that my rice is ready, I'm going to add, I have 2 cups of that chicken broth in the blender. I'm going to add 1/4 of a white onion. But you can use any onion. It's just my mother-in-law really likes the white onion. So I'm going to use what she has. And then she told me half of a tomato. So I'm going to blend this and then show you what I'm going to do next. So off camera, I did shred up my chicken. It's over here. I just have it to the side. If you were making traditional mole, you wouldn't need to shred the chicken. You would just add, once you make the mole sauce, you would just add your chicken legs or your whole chicken or chicken breast to the sauce as is. But today we're making enmoladas or enchiladas de mole. And this is the first time that I'm making it, just using the recipe that my mother-in-law taught me how to make. So now I'm going to be using about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter, and I'm so glad I got the good kind finally. Thank you, Lord Jesus. I miss getting my Kerrygold butter. I do this every single year. I will buy like a cheaper version of wannabe butter, and then when we can, we'll get the good butter, and I'm so glad I got it. Okay, so I have about 3 tablespoons of butter, and I'm just letting this melt, and then I'm gonna add that sauce that I just blended in the blender, and then I'm gonna cover this for 5 minutes, and then after that I'm gonna add my tomato sauce, covered again for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna actually make the mole sauce, and then we're gonna start making this enchilada moles pretty soon. Okay, so my butter is nice and melted. I'm gonna add that tomato, that onion that we blended, and the chicken broth in here. I'm gonna cover this for about 5 minutes. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes. And then if you did hear my kids, my husband took them out for a little walk, so they were getting all excited. Now I'm gonna be adding the rest of the tomato sauce. This is half of a can. I'm gonna add it in here. And then give it a good mix. And then I'm gonna pop the lid on this for another 5 minutes. And then I'm gonna make the mole sauce in the blender. I'm not making it from scratch. I'm getting a little help from Rogelio Bueno. This is a specific brand that my suegra uses, so if you want to screenshot that, go ahead and screenshot that, and when you guys have the opportunity and have a chance and you want to try it, I really recommend this one. But they do carry other brands. It's just, this is the one that my mother-in-law really likes, and it has tons of spices and flavor, and I'm going to show you how we're going to use this in the blender. Okay, so this is well incorporated. I'm going to add the lid. 5 minutes. We should be making mole pretty soon. Okay, so in here I have 1 cup of chicken broth, and I didn't rinse out the blender since we're gonna incorporate all this together. And then in here she also I'm gonna add this one, and like I said again, this is the brand she uses, and she told me she adds 1 tablespoon of sugar. Now many people, their recipes are very different. Some people add peanut butter, some people add chocolate, hot chocolate, the abuelita kind, many different recipes. Like I said, Mexican recipes are very different from different households, but I'm very picky with mole, and to me it has to have like that right taste, and my mother-in-law's is the best. This is what it looks like. Okay, so we're just gonna add that in. This is my husband's favorite dish, so it looks pretty thick. Ooh, it smells amazing. Now this mole here, they sell it already ready to go, so if you follow the directions on making this, you can just make it as it says. But my mother-in-law just adds a little bit of extra stuff to zhuzh it up and make it taste way better. Like I said, there is different brands of moles that are already ready, but they're gonna taste different. So if you really want to stick to this recipe, I recommend you get this specific brand. You can find it at Walmart and at most Mexican grocery stores. Right now I wouldn't tell you to go over there and make this with everything going on, but if you can and you want to, you know, well, that's you, baby. But if you're at the store anyways. So growing up, my mom used a different brand, and it actually came in a glass container. And if you're Mexican, you probably know this. We would reuse the glass cups to drink. That, or probably was just only us, but that's one of my memories of mole. So now I have the 1 cup of the chicken broth. I have the full 8.25 ounces of the mole. And then I have a tablespoon of sugar, and I'm just gonna blend this up really quick. Okay, so that's that first mixture that we made with the butter and the other sauces that we add. This is our mole sauce all blended. It's nice and thick. Now we're just gonna add this to here. We're gonna incorporate, put the lid on for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna get started with the enchiladas. Now, if you were just making mole on its own, you would use the same process for the sauce and everything. You would just, after this cooks for about 5 minutes with the lid on, you would just add your chicken, and there you have easy and delicious mole. The next time I make mole, I will show you probably how to make it all over again and just use either chicken legs or whatever I have.
whenever I'm making mole. But since today we're making the mole enchiladas, I'm going to show you the next step. Now, if you guys want a recipe on how to make enchiladas, I do have a green one that I made in another What's for Dinner that I will share with you guys down in the description and in the iCard. Always check out the description. There's always links for videos. There's links to our Familia vlogging channel, our Familia Adventure vlogging channel, I'm sorry. Also too, a lot of good deals. If you want to go see if I have something there, go ahead and check that out. I also got asked by a viewer if I could start linking things on Amazon, so I want to say thank you so much to her. I got that going. I always get questions on where certain pots or kitchen tools that I use, so I will start linking those in the description. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead. So now I'm going to give this a good mix. Of course, after this, I'm going to taste it and just pray in the name of Jesus that this comes out right. If not, I'm just going to have to adjust it and see what it needs. But so far, it's looking good. It's mixing well. I'm just going to give it a quick mix. And I just have this on a low heat. I'm going to crank it up to a little bit medium. And then pop a lid on it for a good 5 minutes. And then I'm going to show you how we soften up the corn tortillas. And then how we plate these up really quick. So I have the mole here ready, the rice. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of vegetable oil to soften up that tortillas. So I'm using a little bit of vegetable oil. Turning on my stove, I have it on a medium heat. I'm just going to let that oil warm up. I'm not looking to deep fry the tortilla. I'm just looking for it to soften up a bit. You can do this in the microwave because sometimes I will do that for mine when I'm making enchiladas. But I'm going to be honest, they don't taste as great. So I've heard from another viewer, they put cooking spray or just brush it with a little bit oil and pop it in the oven for like 5 minutes to soften that up. I have not tried that, but that's also a good tip. And then before I forget, because I wanted to say this in the beginning and I'm barely saying it now, is that if you are vegetarian or you're looking to go meatless once a week, you can definitely make this. Just skip out the chicken and use cheese instead. Or if you want to use veggie broth, any of my recipes you can substitute to your preference, or also to if you only eat certain things, or also to allergies. Keep in mind, so definitely substitute it. Or if you have any questions, I can try to help you in the comment section as much as possible. I do like to share these easy meal ideas, but I want also people to enjoy them if it can possible. So don't be shy to let me know down in the comments. My channel is very small. I could definitely get back to you. Don't worry. And just like that, I'm just doing it so it could be pliable, because if I were to do it just like this, it definitely will not turn. And these are corn tortillas. We get these at a local grocery store from here. We buy a big pack and then we'll split it and freeze it if we can. That's what my mother-in-law is doing too. And also too, we just freeze them and defrost them pretty quick. So like that, we're not going, because usually when we buy corn tortillas, we're buying them at least like once a week. Now it's just like once a month. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit of oil because it's going to need a little bit more. I'm going to continue and just softening up these corn tortillas, and I'll show you what it looks like plated up in a bit. So I'm testing out using this avocado oil spray for me, and I really recommend it if you don't want to use oil to fry up your tortillas, because it did the trick. I'm just going to add a little bit more and then cook up one. And this is just to soften it up. Okay, so I have the rice there, and then I just have the tortillas ready, and then I'm just gonna put the chicken in here. I'm gonna roll it up, and then I'm gonna add the sauce and plate it up for you guys and show you what that looks like. So this is what the rice looks like. If you make it, it's gonna be normal to have the red on the sides, and then you don't need to fluff it. I just grab it from the side. That's the way I did it growing up. And my mother-in-law, if you want to fluff it, go ahead, but you really don't need to. Totally normal to have that red stuff on top. Okay, so I added the mole sauce. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of queso fresco on top. You could definitely make these in the oven and add like regular like Monterey Jack cheese or whatever cheese you got. We have some queso fresco left up that I want to use, and I think this is how I've seen it plated up and how I tried it the first time. So I think it'll go really good. If you want to add some lettuce or onions, whatever you want to add or whatever you have, go ahead and add that. I just think the queso fresco is going to go really good on top. And then also too, if you want to add like sour cream or whatever. Okay, and this is what the enmoladas look like. And this is going to be dinner for today. I'm going to show you my plate right now. This is what my plate looks like. I ended up adding a little bit of red onion on top since I had it. And I added that queso fresco. So far, husband says it's good. It's good, babe?
Yes, it is.
And he really likes it. So this is what's for dinner for today. Hey guys, so for today's dinner, we're having the leftovers enmoladas. I'm just warming up some tortillas right now. And I'm just using some of the avocado oil spray. I noticed that they fry up pretty good, like if I was using vegetable oil. So I think I'm going to start doing this.
Yeah.
I think also too the pan is helping too, right?
Yeah, the other ones are they're not non-sticky.
Yeah, so I think this is helping too. So I'm not going to be using some oil, and I already have a couple of them that I cooked up. We're just warming up the rice over here. Let me just flip this one. I don't want to leave this and get a tostada. Really quick and easy. And then sorry if I'm moving the camera a lot. I'm just holding my camera. I don't have you on my tripod. Okay, I'm just gonna continue making those, but really quick. We got the chicken we're gonna warm up, and then hubby just warmed up the leftover rice we're gonna have. This is some of that chicken broth. We added it to our mole sauce, and right now he's warming up the mole sauce. And this is a mole sauce. It was thicker, so we added a little bit more of the chicken broth because it got thick. But we're gonna plate this up and show you guys what we're having. I wasn't gonna film the leftovers, but you know what? This is real. We eat a lot of leftovers, so might as well film it while we're here. Let me show you what it looks like plated up. And this is what it looks like all plated up. This is what we're having for dinner, leftovers from yesterday. This is the sauce and the rice. And this is dinner for today. Hi guys, so for today's dinner, we're going to be making some beef ribs. I had these in the freezer. I took them out, defrosting. And I'm going to cut them up right now. And I'm going to cook them the same way my mother-in-law does. And the way she cooks them is she actually boils them. I know a lot of people don't like doing that, but her ribs are so good. So I always cook them the way she does. And I'm going to cut these up right now. And then I'm going to bring a big pot of boiling water. To that boiling water, you'll see that I will add salt. We're going to add a piece of an onion. We're not adding the shakes. Those are for my coffee. It's early in the morning. I'm going to have my coffee. And then we're going to be adding about 3 to 4 bay leaves. This is something I didn't know before that she put in there, but I'm going to add that. And we're going to cook the ribs and boil them for 2 hours. And then we're going to pop them in the oven with a little bit of barbecue because we like it saucy. So I have this pot of water and it's coming to a boil. I'm going to add a whole head of garlic but cut in half. This is the way my mother-in-law told me. Okay, so half a head of garlic, and then she said a piece of onion, and then bay leaf. She told me about 3 to 4. We're gonna add 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then she told me good amount of salt. I'm cooking 2 racks of ribs, and I am gonna boil this with the lid on nice and tight for about 2 hours on a high heat. Her ribs always come out so good, right babe? He's helping me film.
Yes, so tender.
So tender, yeah, they do. Okay. And then I have my ribs here ready to go. Let me get my tongue. So I'm just gonna start dropping those in here. I have a big pot, and this is gonna help so that the water doesn't like boil over. Okay, we're gonna pop a lid on this. We'll be back in 2 hours to show you the next step. Thank you, thank you. So that was our Familia Adventure channel. I've talked about it. It's our family vlog channel. We were actually live on this day. So if you missed it, you can always check it out. I'll put it in the iCard and also in the description. It was a long live, but it was a lot of fun. It was a Q&A, and I hope to do more. So if you guys want to go check that out, it was a Q&A, and we did a little bit of talking. No, a lot. It was a lot of fun. So if you want to check that out, I'll put that video down in the description and also up in the iCard. I have potatoes here. The ribs are ready. I'm going to bake about 8 potatoes. If we have leftovers, I can warm them up the next day, or also to make papa con chorizo. But my girls, my oldest one and my youngest, likes the baked potato, so I don't think we should have too many leftovers. But if we do, it's perfect for lunch. I'm going to pop these in the oven. I have the oven turned on at 450 degrees. I'm going to put these in for about an hour, and then, you know, add our favorite toppings, butter, salt, and pepper. I was going to cook up some bacon, but we completely forgot. And then over here, these are the ribs. I took them out. They've been cooking. They cooked for 2 hours, and they're just like falling off the bone. I know a lot of people don't cook their ribs like this. It's completely different, but these are very good. You have to try them. These are beef meaty ribs, and I'm going to slap on a lot of barbecue. My mother-in-law said that. And then I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 10 minutes. But in the oven right now, I have chicken nuggets. So I'm going to let the chicken nuggets cook for my girls that don't want ribs. My oldest does, but my 2 youngest don't like ribs. I'm going to make them. And then we're going to put some baked potato. And this is probably going to be enough for today's dinner and tomorrow. This week we ate a lot of leftovers. So, hey, ribs, baked potato, and then I'm going to make a side salad. So just keeping it real, we made some chicken nuggets on the side for the girls. And you know, you're that good when you memorize and already know how long you have to cook these for in the oven. I'm just saying. Okay, so I just put some barbecue in a bowl, and I just used this little brush to put the barbecue on there. If you don't have one of these brushes, I feel like most people do have this at home. But if you don't have it, I remember I used to just use a spoon. This just makes it really easier. So I use this barbecue. This one we pick up at Costco. I do have a sugar-free one that I really like, but it was just going to be easier to slap barbecue on all of them with just one. Oh well, we're just going to have a nice treat today and tomorrow. So this is the ribs. My mother-in-law told me just make sure you put a lot of barbecue. If you don't like barbecue, I would just use a rub or a seasoning you really like. This is what we like. We like them really salty. So I'm going to put these, and she told me at 450 degrees for 1 hour. No, not 1 hour, 10 minutes. I wrote it down. Sorry. 10 minutes. The baked potatoes are ready. I'm just going to make the salad while these are in there for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to turn off the oven, not the hubby, turn off the oven. I swear I cannot talk. What is wrong with me? Turn off the oven and let the residual heat just keep these and the baked potatoes warm. And make my salad, clean up the table, and we should get dinner going. So I'm going to show you what it looks like all plated up. So we got the plate set up. We got the cheese.
And I'm eating.
You're eating. The other girls already ate, the older girls. I made some veggies because the lettuce was bad. So we had that. I just put that in the microwave, a little bit of butter, salt, and pepper. She's getting her baked potato.
Yeah, with A.
With a salt, you want
A
pepper?
little salt and pepper, some cheese, and some A1. Be careful with that bottom, Mama. It's big. And this is my plate right here. I got 2 ribs. There's different sizes, so I just went for like the medium ones. I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna enjoy those. And then I have my baked potato. And then I was gonna make a side salad, but like I said, the lettuce went bad, so veggies to the rescue. That's why I like to have frozen veggies in my freezer. And I'm gonna add some butter, some salt and pepper. Instead of yogurt, instead of sour cream, I'm gonna do a little bit of Greek yogurt and also some A1 sauce, because I love A1 sauce on my my baked potato. So I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching as always.
You look so beautiful, and I'm so lucky to be yours.